Let's stick with what is happening in Washington, D.C. Today is a key day in the ongoing House impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Ambassador Sondland is testifying before Congress today. He already began. Now, he is the man who has found himself in the middle of the investigation into the decision to withhold aid to Ukraine. And in prepared testimony, EU Ambassador Sondland is expected to tell the committee that he, quote, followed the president's orders on Ukraine. He has already said some damaging things this morning. Jess Smith is live in D.C. with the latest. Hi, Jess.
Hey there, about an hour in, and Sondland is still working on his opening statements here. He is getting ready to finish that up, and then we'll move to questioning. He has already told lawmakers that he was working with Rudy Giuliani at the express direction of the president. He said he did not want to work with Giuliani on Ukraine issues, but the president wanted him to do so, so he did. He also explicitly said that there was a quid pro quo. If Ukraine wanted a meeting in the White House, it was contingent on announcing these investigations that could be damaging to the president's political rivals. He also says that President Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo knew what was going on. He says everyone was in the loop. It was not a secret. Let's watch.
Mr. Giuliani's requests were a quid pro quo for arranging a White House visit for President Zelensky. Mr. Giuliani demanded that Ukraine make a public statement announcing the investigations of the 2016 election, DNC server, and Burisma. Mr. Giuliani was expressing the desires of the President of the United States, and we knew these investigations were important to the President.
Sondland also said he was adamantly opposed to holding back security aid for Ukraine. He never got an explanation for why that was happening, but he came to believe it was also contingent on those investigations, though the White House never explicitly told him that, is what he's telling lawmakers. Now, we should get to those first round of questions in just a few minutes. And then at 2:30 this afternoon, 2 more witnesses will be testifying before lawmakers. Dan?
So, Jess, everyone is going gaga over what we've heard so far from Sondland. Wow, look, he threw Trump under the bus. So what might this really lead to?
Yeah, we'll see. I think Democrats are definitely going to dig in here on that quid pro quo statement that he's making, and really the fact that he is pointing the finger at President Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. But I think Republicans are also going to note that his story has changed a couple times. He notes that his memory has not been perfect, but he has also left out some details that other witnesses have described, and then he's come back to kind of fill in the blanks. So I think Republicans will probably zero in on that, but we'll just have to see how this goes. It's going to be another long day on Capitol Hill.
Hey, Jess, it's Kristen here. So we've heard the president and Republicans come out and actually attack some of the witnesses that have gone in front of this impeachment hearing. I'm wondering if you can talk about Sondland's reputation. Is he essentially above reproach right now?
I think he's faced some attacks from people on both sides of the aisle, and just because he has had to come back and change his story a few times. He is not one that President Trump will be able to say is a never Trumper. He donated to the president's inaugural committee, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, how President Trump responds to that, because he has said before that these witnesses were never Trumpers, that they just didn't like President Trump, and that's why they're testifying. But Sondland is very different in that case.
All right, we will keep watching what happens. It will be interesting to see how President Trump responds. I look forward to the Trump tweet calling Sondland a lightweight. Jess, thanks so much.
Of course.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.